up on Time with Tiffy. Get your tea and sip with me. I'm starting the afternoon with some flavorful mint tea. And it's the perfect time for dessert. Let's enjoy some of these savory treats. Plus, I'll take you back to biblical times to the wonderful storybook of Genesis. Join me as I start Bible in 1 year, happening right now. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel, Time with Tiffy. This afternoon, my choice of tea is mint tea. That's right, I've chosen mint tea, mint medley. This tea has so many health benefits. It eases digestive upsets, freshens your breath, improves sleep and energy. It fights bacterial infections, relieves clogged sinuses, and more. If you've ever tried this tea, let me know what you think of it. I just love a tea with benefits. So I have my sugar cubes going on here. I'm going to get one of these. I put a little bit of creamer in my tea sometimes. And for my treats, I have these fruit tarts, which are just delicious. They have kiwi on them, blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries. They look so delicious. And this is a perfect pairing to my mint tea. So good. Well, if you don't have your tea yet, go get your tea and sip with me. I'm going to start reading. So I'm in Genesis 5, 1 through 32. I'm going to read all the way through Genesis 8, 1 through 22. Genesis 5. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam. In the day that God created man, he created him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female, and blessed them, and called them mankind in the day they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. After he begot Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Seth lived 105 years, and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived 807 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. Enosh lived 99 years, and begot Canaan. After he begot Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. Canaan lived 70 years, and begot Mahalalel. And after he begot Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years, and begot Jared. After he begot Jared, Mahalalel lived 835 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. Jared lived 162 years, and begot Enoch. After he begot Enoch, Jared lived 800 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Enoch lived 65 years, and begot Methuselah. After he begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years, and Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Methuselah lived 187 years, and begot Lamech. After he begot Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Lamech lived 182 years, and had a son. And he called his name Noah, saying, "This one will comfort us concerning our work and toil with our hands, because the ground which the Lord has cursed." After he begot Noah, Lamech lived 595 years, and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now I'm in the chapter of Genesis 6, reading verse 1 through 22. Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever. So he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and bore children to them, they were mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then the Lord saw the wickedness of man was great on the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry he had made man on earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping things, and birds of the air, for I am sorry I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God. And Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all the flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. And behold, I myself am bringing floodwaters on the earth to destroy from under heaven all flesh in which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark with your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all the flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female of the birds, after their kind of animals, after their kind of every creeping thing of the earth, after its kind. 2 of every kind will come to you to keep them alive, and you shall take yourself of all food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did according to all that God commanded him, so he did. Then the Lord said to Noah, I'm in chapter 7, Come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you 7 each of every clean animal, a male and his female, 2 of each animals that are unclean, a male and his female. Also 7 each of birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the face of the earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made. And Noah did according to all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters were on the earth. So Noah with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, of birds, and of everything that creeps on the earth. 2 by 2 they went to the ark, male and female, and God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month of the 17th day of the month. On that day, all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of the heaven were opened, and the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the same day, Noah and Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of the sons of them entered the ark, they and every beast of its kind, cattle of every kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every sort of bird. And they went into the ark to Noah, 2 by 2, of the flesh in which is the breath of life. So those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went in as God had commanded them. And the Lord shut him in. Now the flood was on the earth 40 days. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased in the earth. And the ark moved about all the surface of the waters, and the waters prevailed exceedingly, and the earth and all the high hills under the whole earth were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man. All of those nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life, and all was on the dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both man and cattle, creeping thing and bird of the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive. And the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. Chapter 8. Then God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. The fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were also stopped, and the rains of heaven were restrained. And the waters receded continually from the earth. At the end of the 150 days the waters decreased. Then the ark rested in the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. So it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. Then he sent out a raven, which kept going to and fro until the waters had dried up from the earth. He also sent out for himself a dove, to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of the foot, and she returned to the ark to them. For the waters were on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her, and drew her into the ark himself. And he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent the dove out from the ark. Then the dove came to him in the evening, and behold, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in her mouth. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. So he waited yet another 7 days, and sent out the dove, which did not return again to him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year of the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and indeed the surface of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dried. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, Go out of the ark, you and your wife, and your sons wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds and cattle, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, so that they may abound on the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth. So Noah went out with his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with them. Every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever creeps on the earth, according to their families, went out of the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took every clean animal, and of every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a smoothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done. While the earth remains, seedtime and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, all day and night shall not cease. Man, I just love the story of Noah. Well, tune back in with me tomorrow as I start chapter 9. And thank you so much for tuning in and being here with me on Time with Tiffy. I hope you enjoyed the daily reading. Remember to subscribe to Time with Tiffy, where we sip on tea so flavory, eat treats so savory, and enjoy reading books of the Bible, doing Bible in 1 year. Until next time.